First, I would like to share with you my favourite quote from my favourite game. I know what you're thinking, it's just from some silly game, so it's just going to be some silly quote. But it's not just some silly game, it's my favourite game. You may think it all a mere bad dream. Hunt your beasts and think no more on the secrets of the night. That is the very best a hunter can do. This could have many interpretations, but the way I interpret it is don't just sit back and do nothing if you have a problem. Don't just assume that it'll all get better if you wait, that you'll wake up one day like it's a bad dream and be okay. It's not a dream. This is real life, and it is never that easy. In this world, you have to face your demons, or should I say, hunt your beasts. Be proactive and make an effort to fix your problems yourself, because after all, that is the very best a hunter can do. It is the very best anyone can do. I grew up in White Abbey in Northern Ireland, in a nice wee street in a nice wee house. I have both my parents and they're still married. I have an older sister who's only half crazy. And I've never experienced serious loss apart from my dog Flash. That dog was just such a wee gremlin. But us having to put down a part of my family was so hard, and I still have his ashes in my room. You might be thinking, why is this random teenager telling us his life story? I'm telling you because some people in the world have told me I'm not allowed to have problems. For two reasons. Mainly because I am a guy, and we all know men have no problems whatsoever, right? Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. I have also been told that there are people who come from a far worse background, but if you remember what I said, I never said I came from a bad background. I know that people have had their lives worse off. Like, yes, I was bullied a lot when growing up. I still am to some degree, and sometimes it's worse even. But when you think of the hardships others have faced, I shouldn't have the problems I do. But like I said, life is never that easy. For most of my life, I have been in a slump of laziness, for lack of better terms. Being brutally honest, for the better part of my 17 years of life, I didn't do anything of notice. I had mediocre grades, and my day was just school to home, and that was done. The only thing I actually did outside of that was music, and funny enough, the one thing I did, I hated so much. So I'm glad I quit that at the start of this year. 10 years down the drain. I made no contributions and I had no impact. That lifestyle led to the development of major mental issues, such as self-worth, questioning my existence, and even getting as bad as suicidal. A major factor that has severely negatively contributed to my mental health is the people in my life, more specifically the people I chose to be around. People in my group will vouch for me when I say people our age are awful and extremely toxic. They make jokes regarding people's looks or weight and think everything is okay because it's just a joke or they're just having a laugh. No one seems to realise the effect of these jokes have on people. People have made me hate my body as well as myself in general. It led to me bottling up my emotions and shutting myself out from people. A lot of the progress I have made so far is thanks to the head of my key stage in school, Miss Hood. She never actually taught me, yet as soon as she found out something was wrong, she dropped everything she was doing to make sure I was okay and to make sure I was getting the help I needed. It was the fun 6 weeks of doing phone therapy that didn't help at all. Yeah. I needed help, and years later she still checks up on me, at least once every week. One day I decided that I was sick of thinking it was just going to be a mere bad dream. I was sick of having no impact in my school or my community. So at the start of this year at school, I joined a range of extracurriculars in school, such as my personal favourite, robotics, where I helped build and code a robot from scratch, Eco Club, where I helped the school recycle and have less damage on the environment, and my most impressive one, also part of the school's house committee, as only 4 people from each year get accepted into that, as well as many other roles. Everything of notice that I have done has happened this year, but taking the step to contribute more in my school and community, and even through the school year, even though the school year is over, I'm not going to go back to doing nothing. I've actually picked up more serious leadership roles for my final year of school. My past examples, if you take them, in robotics, I went from just a coder to the project manager of the whole team. Every decision to be made comes through me first. For the eco team, I have become one of the 2 eco prefects, only 2 in the entire school of like almost 1,000 people. And I've become a senior member of the house committee, again only 4 in my year. These groups and clubs helped me feel more comfortable as a person, and I was finally making a contribution to my school life, but I still didn't have an impact. Through school, I learned of a charity called Cooperation Ireland and how they had a future leaders programme. In other words, it was means to have an impact on my community too. So I applied and got one of the only 2 positions that were offered to my school. That programme helped with me putting myself out there while learning about diversity and sustainability in the workplace, 2 big problems in today's social climate. At the end of the Future Leaders programme, I was invited to attend the Cooperation Ireland Showcase, basically where they presented all of the programmes they did, all of their teams they had, to ambassadors from all of their partner companies. And part of that showcase was I had to speak in a panel in front of at least 200 people. And then through that, after that programme, Karina, one of the leaders of Cooperation Ireland, sent a text into our group chat saying that there's this other programme available, and that opportunity was with FFI. I remember thinking that this was my chance, my chance to have an impact, to make a change, so I applied the second I got the chance, even though I didn't have a valid password at the time. Being here on this programme has already helped me and my health exponentially. For once in my life, I have been with people who genuinely care for me and love me, and I love every single member of my team with all my heart. They aren't just my team, they aren't just my friends, they're my new family, and I love them all to bits. These two programs let me start contributing to school life, and has let me start having an impact on my community, have both had a massive part on my development. I owe so much to Cooperation Ireland and FFI, and especially my new family. To finish off, if anyone here has any problems, just remember, you may think it all a mere bad dream. Hunt your beasts and think no more on the secrets of the night. That is the very best a hunter can do.